Salutations from Wizard Studios. I am the Wizard. We're going to be previewing UFC 250 today, Nunes versus Spencer. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, first up we have Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer for the women's featherweight title bout. Now, Amanda Nunes is coming in here off of the Germaine Durandamy win at women's bantamweight title bout. Now, she did get tired in that bout and made a few mistakes. We have to remember that. And so, coming into this bout with Felicia Spencer, okay, I believe Amanda Nunes is going to win. I believe Amanda Nunes really has so much experience over Felicia Spencer that is the key to victory in this fight. I believe Felicia Spencer makes a ton of mistakes, leaving her chin exposed. And Amanda Nunes is really going to tee off on that. I mean, I think she is going to hit Felicia Spencer with everything but the kitchen sink. And I think that is going to take a toll on Felicia Spencer. But Amanda Nunes does get tired. And I believe in the third, fourth, and fifth round, we may see Amanda Nunes on her back. And if we see Amanda Nunes on her back, Amanda Nunes, yes, is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But she is not known for being excellent off of her back. She is not known for throwing up submissions off of her back. That is not the submission savvy Amanda Nunes that I know, throwing up triangles, arm bars, whatever off of her back and winning fights that way. Now, when she's on top, yes, I can see her getting submissions. But off of her back, no. So if Felicia Spencer gets a takedown and puts Amanda Nunes on her back, I see serious problems for Nunes. Nunes is going to have to use her footwork and her superior striking to keep Felicia Spencer at bay. And she is going to have to make sure that she does not overextend herself, that she does not tire herself out. She is going to have to make sure that she manages her energy very well in this bout, because Felicia Spencer will try her hardest to tire Amanda Nunes out, to take advantage of her in the third, fourth, and fifth round. So I'm going to take it Amanda Nunes by decision, because Felicia Spencer is so tough. She has a durable chin. We saw that in the Cyborg bout. Amanda Nunes by decision. Alright, next up we have Rafael Assuncao versus Cody Garbrandt. Now, this is a good fight. Rafael Assuncao, he's taken a few losses. Cody Garbrandt's taken a few losses. But I really believe that these guys are pillars of the bantamweight division. Now, Rafael Assuncao, he is known for really being the guy to push people either toward a title or pushing them away from a title. But he's taken a few losses to some really good opponents. And Cody Garbrandt, he was known for his superior footwork and boxing and wrestling defense. And then all of a sudden, he gets into some firefights and throws all of that out the window. And then, takes a few knockout losses to some great dudes, don't get me wrong. TJ Dillashaw, no slouch. The other guy, Munoz, no slouch. But we have to remember that Cody Garbrandt, at one point in time, was the champion. Rafael Assuncao at one time was thought to be a future champion. So when they come into this fight, this is a make or break fight for both guys. Now, are we going to see the return of Cody Garbrandt to old form? And we're hearing now that his jiu-jitsu is getting onto another level. Well, I don't want to see him go to the ground with a sunset. I don't care how much he is working with Ricardo Almeida. Rafael Assuncao is no slouch on the ground. That dude is on another level, I believe, on the ground. I do not want to see Garbrandt rolling on the canvas with Rafael Assuncao. I do not believe that is a smart decision or smart game plan for Cody Garbrandt to try to take Rafael Assuncao to the ground, no matter how hurt he may be. Now, we see that Garbrandt in the past 3 fights, when he's gotten hurt, he's bit down on the mouthpiece and started to throw bombs and then get clipped and get knocked out. That's what's happened. That's just the facts. Well, in his last fights, let's go back just to the Dominic Cruz fights. Okay? When he got clipped in the Dominic Cruz fight, he didn't go shooting on Dominic, even though Cody's a good wrestler. He did take Dominic down. Okay, that's a great accomplishment. Not many people have ever taken Dominic Cruz down. Good job. But still, when he got clipped, he didn't try to take Dominic down. When he got clipped, he kept distant and just recovered with his superior footwork. Cody Garbrandt has the best footwork in the bantamweight division. I'm going out on a limb here and saying that. I really believe that. Cody Garbrandt has the best footwork in the bantamweight division, bar none. Bar none. The dude has the best. He does not need to be shooting. He does not need to be wrestling. His striking is awesome. His footwork is superior. He can do it all with striking and footwork and movement and feints. He can do it all. He can win every fight that way. So do it. Get it done. His chin's not bad. The only reason he's losing is because of silly mistakes. Now, going to the Rafael Assuncao side, if I was him, I would strike to clinch and get the fight to the ground. And that is how Rafael Assuncao gets the win. Garbrandt, footwork, boxing, leg kicks, superior movement, and he gets the win that way. Even though Garbrandt has taken 3 L's, knockout losses, Rafael Assuncao coming off of 2 losses, I'm going to take Garbrandt to go back to old form and get the victory. I really believe he can do it. And if he can't, then it's time to find something else to do. I mean, it sucks, but when you're at the upper echelon, when you're at the top of the division, and you don't fight like you're at the top of the division, when you throw out the game plan, when you throw out the way that you used to do things, and you start fighting like a teenager, like a guy in his young 20s who's at a bar, man, you're not going to be able to hang with the upper echelon. You're not going to be able to hang with the title contenders. You're not going to be able to hang with the people in the top 5, the top 7. It's not going to happen. So, let's see if Garbrandt can do it. I hope he can. He's a good guy. He's a great fighter when he's on his game. He's the best. We'll take Garbrandt by knockout. Next up, we have Aljamain Sterling versus Corey Sandhagen. Now, excellent fight. You know, I believe this is the #1 contender fight right here, right? The #1 contender fight. Aljamain Sterling coming in hot, man. This guy really riding high. Corey Sandhagen coming in hot, really riding high. Both of these guys right now could fight for the title, and I would not have a problem with it, okay? Now, I've been going back and forth. I do not know who to pick. Now, Corey Sandhagen, you know, this guy fights awkward. Aljamain Sterling, you know, the Funk Master, like I've said in the past, the dude is awkward as well. But Corey Sandhagen has a style that you cannot prepare for, like Dominic Cruz or Jon Jones. I mean, Aljamain Sterling throws kicks to wrestle and implement his jiu-jitsu, right? That is what Aljamain Sterling does. That is his game plan. Fight in and fight out. That is how he gets the W. Corey Sandhagen is a storm. Like, you don't know if it's going to be wind, rain, sleet, hail. You know, you don't know what's going to come out of it. A tornado, a gust of wind. I mean, it's just lightning. You do not know what's going to happen when Corey Sandhagen steps into the octagon. So, I really think that Corey Sandhagen is going to come in here and get the job done. And last I heard, Ray Longo was not going to be in the corner of Aljamain Sterling. That is a big-time blow. I don't care what anybody says. You know, I know Al Iaquinta's going to be in there. He's a great dude. They've been working together. They're teammates. That's a big blow for Aljamain Sterling. I'm going to take Corey Sandhagen by decision. I believe his unpredictability, and a lot of people are saying that Aljo will have the advantage on the ground. And I believe Aljo is a great, like, you know, trains with Matt Serra, black belt. The dude's a phenomenal wrestler and a great, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist. Dude, when I see Corey Sandhagen on the ground, that dude is no slouch. That dude submits people. That dude, like in his first UFC fight, like that, somebody, I can't remember who the guy was, okay? So I'm sorry to the gentleman that was torquing Corey Sandhagen's arm in every single direction he could possibly torque it. But it was like a rubber band. Like, Corey Sandhagen wasn't tapping, and then eventually just beat that dude into a pulp. Like, Corey Sandhagen is no slouch on the ground, and if he gets into a tough position, like Michael Bisping, you know, you're just going to have to, like, put him to sleep or, you know, beat him down. Like, he's not going to give up. So the heart of Corey Sandhagen is going to play dividends if he gets into a bad situation. And I love Aljo. I love Aljo. I pull for Aljo all the time. This is what makes this tough. I'm going to have to go with Sandhagen. I feel like his momentum coming in here is just going to push him through this fight. I'm taking Sandhagen by decision. I believe that he's not going to take no for an answer. It's kind of like that Khabib thing, you know, like no matter what, he's coming out with a win. So we'll see if I'm wrong. I could be very wrong on this one. And if I am, I am. Anthony Rocco Martin versus Neil Magny. Man, this is a tough one right here. So Anthony Rocco Martin, dude comes forward, throws bombs, has a good ground game. Neil Magny, great striker, great ground game. So I'd have to give the edge to Neil Magny just barely on the ground, and that is what is going to make me favor Neil Magny just barely on the overall in this one, because I believe he's just a little bit better on the ground than Anthony Rocco Martin, and I think that is going to play dividends in this fight. So I'm going to take Neil Magny by decision versus Anthony Rocco Martin, but just barely, like 29-28, you know. This is a close fight. This could go either way. And I'm saying Anthony Rocco Martin can, you know, very seriously knock out Neil Magny in this fight. Anthony Rocco Martin's got dogs in his hands. He's not afraid to come forward to throw bombs. He's not afraid to go to the ground with anybody. And so this matchup can very easily go either way. This matchup could very easily be a draw. This is a very even matchup. This matchup is why we have the fight to begin with. But I am going to go with Magny. He's got the reach. He's got the tools. He's a winner. He's been a staple of the middleweight division for years now. This is a tough matchup for Anthony Rocco Martin. We'll see what happens. I'm taking Neil Magny by decision. All right, Eddie Wineland versus Sean O'Malley. Man, this is Sean O'Malley's test against a vet, man. He's been waiting to get a fight against a vet, and here it is. So Sean O'Malley had an interview with Luke Thomas pretty much stating that he would not take a fight against a top-level opponent without better compensation. And so I'm all about that for Sean O'Malley. You know, he doesn't want a dangerous fight without better compensation. Hey, good for him. Well, here is his fight to prove that he is a top-level bantamweight. Eddie Wineland, the dude has, he's a vet. He has all the tools. If this fight hits the canvas, I favor Eddie Wineland. Now, Sean O'Malley has all the tools to keep it standing. The dude is one of the very best strikers in all of the bantamweight division, and all of the UFC maybe. And so he has the opponent to go out there and put on the very best show he can put on. And so this is his chance to prove that he is among the very best. This is his chance to prove that to Dana White, hey, I am worth, you know, $200,000 a fight. I am worth $180,000 a fight. I'm worth whatever. And so I'm looking for that performance from Sean O'Malley. I'm taking Sean O'Malley by first-round knockout. I'm looking for that key performance from Sugar Sean O'Malley. We'll see what happens. So Tyson Fury confirms that he has been talking with Dana White about fighting some guys in the UFC. But he has said that he has to clear a few things up in the boxing world first. He said he has to fight Wilder again. He has to fight Joshua. He has to fight Dylan White. And so after he fights those three guys, you can count on Tyson Fury coming into the world of MMA and facing, I don't know how many UFC guys, maybe one, maybe two. If I was to guess, I would say maybe one contender and then a champion. If he beats the contender, then whoever the champion is at that time. That is my guess on Tyson Fury's crossover into the world of mixed martial arts. So Colby Covington has left American Top Team, and there's been a lot of talk about this. I really believe that Colby Covington was asked to leave American Top Team just because he kept going after his teammates, okay? You really do not see that from any other fighter. I mean, it's not really happened that much. It's happened a few times. There's been a dispute. Then a guy leaves the gym. Colby Covington never left American Top Team. He stayed there. He said that was his home. He was there for a decade. He was there for a decade. He was never asked to leave the gym. Then they made that rule, okay? They made the rule you could not go after teammates. he kind of kept doing it. He had that fake thing where he kind of like apologized to Dustin Poirier. And then he kind of kept going after Joanna. He kind of kept going after George Masvidal. I mean, Dan Lambert's hands were kind of tied. I think Colby Covington's going to be fine. He says he's going to stay in Florida. He's going to stay in Miami or whatever. I believe he's going to bring in his own guys, just like Donald Cerrone are doing, just like Tony Ferguson does, just like all of the big boxers do. They bring in their own teams. We're going to see if Colby Covington, can do what Donald Cerrone and Tony Ferguson do. They bring in their own guys. They bring in their own sparring partners, and they train. That's what they do. They do that because they don't want to go to a gym and I guess give away their secrets because they know they could have to fight other people. Donald Cerrone was at a gym. He was at Greg Jackson's, right? And then things didn't work out. He said it was like a puppy mill. I mean, things happen. It's how you deal with them once they happen. How is Colby Covington going to deal with this now that it's happened? We all knew it was going to happen. We all saw this. It's been going on for a while now. We knew it was going to happen. We saw it lining up. They weren't going to kick out everybody else. That wasn't going to happen. Maybe if Colby was champion, they would have kept him on. Maybe if he beat Usman. But it didn't work out that way. You can say what you want to about the liver shot. You can say what you want to about the shots to the back of the head. Yeah, that happened. That did happen. It's on film. It is on film. Colby has a point about that. But you know what? It just didn't work out that way. So, he's got a point for a rematch. Dana White's already talking about him. He said, it's going to be Masvidal, it's going to be Edwards or Covington. Now, Gilbert Burns just beat Woodley. That just happened. So Gilbert Burns is automatically in that mix now. So that does, make it a little bit harder for Covington to get that rematch. But he is right there. He could still be champion. How much would that hurt? Would that bug Dan Lambert if Colby Covington was champion and he just asked him to leave American Top Team? Russian MMA trainer Vladimir Osaya, one of Russia's most elite MMA coaches, was arrested for contract killing. The ongoing investigation and interrogation is related to the killing of Nikolai Lenov. Prior to being arrested, he threw 1.8 kilograms of cocaine out of his bedroom window. So, first off, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Nikolai Lenov. This is terrible. We, of course, do not know if Vladimir Osaya did do this. This is an ongoing investigation. People are coming out to support Vladimir Osaya, the guy from M1 Global, some of his students, all of that. We do not know if he did this. It is kind of crazy that he threw 1.8 kilograms of cocaine out of his window prior to being arrested. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is terrible. The guy was Nikolai Lenov was a shopping, a manager at a mall, a shop manager, like he was a shopping mall manager. for like a big mall in Russia. So this is crazy. I don't know. We don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it yet. This is still an ongoing investigation. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Nikolai Lenov. Terrible. So what is going on with the welterweight division? So we see George Masvidal state that, hey, I'm going to fight Nate Diaz now. I do not want to fight Kamaru Usman. Well, he says he wants to fight Usman, but Usman is asking for too much money. Usman says Masvidal is asking for too much money. What's really going on here? Well, I think that the UFC might be doing this. I think that the matchmakers don't want to pay these guys what they're asking, and so they're pretty much not letting them come to the table. That is just my opinion on this. I think that Sean Shelby's like, all right, both of these guys are asking too much, so let's just tell them that the other ones are asking for too much money. And so he may bring in Leon Edwards or Colby Covington and pay them less than what he would have to pay the other guys to make Kamaru Usman take the fight for less, so he wouldn't have to pay him as much money as he would to fight Jorge Masvidal. That is just what I am thinking. I don't know if that is true. It could be wrong. I mean, the Colby Covington rematch could do bigger numbers. Who knows? The first fight with Colby was one of the best fights ever. I mean, that was the greatest fight that I think I've ever seen. I mean, seriously. It was the greatest fight that I think I have ever seen. So, I mean, Usman versus Masvidal is the fight that everybody wanted to see. They don't like each other. They talk crap all the time. Why can't this fight happen? I think it has to be the matchmakers, right? If they don't like each other and they want to fight, why can't the fight happen? Matchmaker. It's the matchmaker, right? It has to be. They don't like each other, they want to fight, but the fight can't happen? That's not right. What's the person in the middle that makes it happen? Oh, that's right. It's the matchmaker. That's right. Dude's not doing his job. Can't be. I mean, doesn't make sense. It's his only job to make the fight happen. But he can't do it. Come on, man. Do your job. If they just want a little bit more money, give them a little bit more money. I mean, that's the name of the game. If they ask for more money, you give them a little more money. You don't give them what they ask. You meet them in the middle. You don't just tell them the other guy's asking for outrageous stuff, so we're not just going to not make the fight. This is... The fans want to see the fight. There's so many fights right now that the fans want to see, but we can't even get to the table. And to keep the fans at bay, the matchmakers are blaming it on the other fighters. We have to realize it's the matchmaker. It's the matchmakers. So, in the welterweight division, we have Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal now wants to fight Nate Diaz. If the UFC can make that fight happen, and they're going to get a lot of views on that fight because Nate Diaz is a star, Jorge Masvidal is a star. They can pay them a little bit more money, you know, and get views. That's why they make that fight. Boom, done. Now you have Usman, who is not as big of a star as Masvidal, but he's the champ. You set him up with Edwards. You can pay them both, you know, less because you did that now. Boom, that fight's done. It's a win-win. It's the matchmakers. Crazy. That's everything for today, guys. I appreciate everything. Remember, give this video the thumbs up. Really helps out the channel when you do. Also, remember to subscribe for more MMA content, and we will see you guys in the next one.